All right, Anthony on Air podcast. We're back again with another episode. We're back with more gossip on Ghislaine Maxwell. This documentary has aired on Lifetime, 2 episodes, and one of the creepiest things ever to come out of that is this birthday song. So we'll talk about that. Plus, Ghislaine Maxwell's former personal assistant is missing. They do not know where she is to make this thing. This thing is like following the plot line of this movie, I swear. You can't see her, but she's here with us. J Sabs is on board. Hi, J Sabs.
Hi, I'm so sorry that you guys can't see me. I know so many of you, especially my friend Anne and the crowd over there. It's so sad that she can't see me.
Listen, which one of these two things do you want to? I know, because they're stuck looking at me, and that's not an easy pill to swallow.
Stop.
Which one of these two do you want to start off with first?
We have to talk about the birthday song.
Okay. So going along with the birthday song, we touched on this guy on the last episode of the podcast. He was a reporter and a supposed friend of Ghislaine Maxwell. This guy, Christopher Mason.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was the one who gave us the tip that, at one point, Ghislaine wanted to recruit Paris Hilton. And if you missed that episode, it's our last episode. You can get it on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and all the podcast networks. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll put a card in the thing. And if you're on Facebook, you got to go to our YouTube channel. So Christopher Mason is back with another nugget of information, which is that at one point, Ghislaine Maxwell asked him to help write a birthday tribute to Jeffrey Epstein for his 40th birthday. Chris says in the documentary, I barely knew him, but Ghislaine was very specific about certain phrases and information that had to be in the song. He describes the birthday gathering as 6 guys wearing black ties, a far cry from being a big party as expected. So now if you get, if you barely know this billionaire and you get invited to this party, you would assume it's going to be like this mega bash super blowout.
Right.
6 dudes in tuxedos, which why would you ever, unless I'm going to the Golden Globes or the Emmys, why would anybody be wearing a tuxedo these days? It's crazy.
Creepy.
Chris Mason says, Maxwell asked me to knock on the door at the appointed hour, walk in, sit on the floor, and perform the song. Mason, during the documentary, read the song out loud, beginning with a fairly innocent quip about Epstein turning 40 and having gray hair. The tone, however, changes as he continues. And I quote, he sure looks older, but it's clear from his smile, the older he gets, the more juvenile. Disgusting. Like the fact that she had to work juvenile in this is like onto the creepiest degree, because it's like you're literally flaunting it with like this secret code language that this guy or other people don't know about at the party at the time. The lyrics continue talking about Epstein's past as a math teacher at the upscale Dalton school. They go on to say, quote, the naughty boy blushes to think of schoolgirls and all of their crushes. In the middle of Mason musing about this, he literally stops and goes, God, it seems so creepy. I'm afraid. I wonder why he doesn't like, I mean, this is like a weird.
Yeah.
Like, again, I hate to like Monday morning quarterback some of these people, but, 6 people there and she asks you to write this song and she gives you like the specific lyrics about juvenile. Okay, well, here's the worst one. You ready for this?
Let's go.
He sure looks older, but it's clear from his smile, the older he gets, the more juvenile. Ghislaine is lavishing him with her affections. She claims he has 24-hour erections. If somebody asked you to write now, look, if your friend asked you to write this song, right?
Right.
And it's about another friend, it's probably not that big of a deal. Like, I couldn't even imagine what our group of friends would put in a song.
Oh, God.
If given the opportunity to, it would be horrific.
I can't imagine what I would write in this song.
Yeah, but if I came to you, Janine, and was like, here's this guy that you don't know, can you write a song for him and make sure you work in 24-hour erections and more juvenile? Wouldn't you be like, what the hell? I don't want to do this.
Like, what's wrong with this guy?
What is wrong with this guy and this
Yeah,
girl?
that's creep. Right. That's creepy. Sorry.
All
Creepy.
all of this stuff I'm like coming to the realization of is like, it just goes to show you more and more how obsessed we are with wealth in this country and how bad it can be.
Right. Like if you're rich, that's it. Get anything you want. That's it.
And it's amazing, like the aura around that and how much people are willing to do just to kind of get near that. It's just like, I don't know. It's very uncomfortable. Like I think about the, did you watch the Michael Jackson documentary on HBO with the two guys spilling their guts about being, you saw that?
Yes, I did.
That one was so rough because the parents are in that, and
yes, I agree. Like how can you let your little son hang out with a man? Yeah. Have sleepovers, and you're right. It's because he was rich. That's it.
And they
rich and famous.
And they get like it's almost like it's intoxicating. It's like they get drunk on like the limos and the nice hotel rooms and the vacations and the, you know, that they're willing to like let their guard down so much that something like this could like actually happen to their child. It's messed up, man.
Right, and I'm sure like when these like they look back at their parents and been like, how did you let me do this? You know? Like,
yeah.
How did you let me go to this man's house? Sleep with him in the same bed? Come on.
I don't know. And again, I find this more and more the more I like, most of my career as a broadcaster has been done in New York.
Right.
So I feel like there's a certain attitude and there's a certain like, what are you trying to pull on me all the time with us?
It's true.
You know what I mean?
That is true.
But the more the more like the podcast goes and everything, and I hear from people all around the world and all around the country, I don't know if everybody's necessarily built like that.
Right. Like, I do always think that someone has an ulterior motive. I do. I'm
all the
sorry.
Time. Every
all
single time. It doesn't matter. I don't care if Make-A-Wish came to me and was like, Ann, here's $1 million. I'd be like, what are you getting at? What's the angle here?
What's the issue?
Yeah, what's the scam? And you probably couldn't find a nicer organization on the planet than Make-A-Wish.
Right.
And I'd still be like, what is your problem?
Right. See?
I don't know if that's an Italian thing or if that's a New Yorker thing or if that's an Italian New Yorker thing. I don't know.
Maybe an Italian New Yorker thing. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. So if like my kid came to me and was like, guess what? This pop star says we can go away on vacation with him. I would be like, you've got to have a clear head. There's no way.
Yeah. Sorry.
And even if I were to let my guard down enough to like cave to my kid, I would never for a second let him out of my sight. That would be the condition. It would be like, I am with you at all times.
Right. Oh, same here.
You know?
Creep. It's like that other story too. What was it? The girl who was kidnapped. She was an actress, not so famous, but she was kidnapped by her father's friend. I think he had money, and that's like he slept in the bed with her. Like, what are you doing? Do you remember that story?
It vaguely sounds familiar. It wasn't that long ago.
Right. But it's just like weird things. People are weird, especially when it comes to money.
Super weird. And you know what's weirder? I feel like the more we have the internet, the more we hear about all these stories and the more these things come out. It's like, you should know better by now. You know what I mean?
Like, how do you get yourself into this situation? Sorry.
Seriously. I'm at the point now where my kids are never, ever going to a sleepover party ever.
Oh, God.
Nothing good ever comes from a sleepover party, ever.
No. You want to hear something funny about a sleepover?
Yeah.
This is real quick. I remember one of my first sleepovers. I slept by this girl's house, and it was like 10 girls sleeping there. And her oldest sister had her friends sleeping there, and there was like guys there, and they were watching The Bodyguard. And I remember I had to go to the bathroom. So when I left the bathroom, I heard Whitney Houston say something like, "Yeah, but you'll fuck me." And I was like, oh my God, I hope my mother doesn't find out that I saw this part. I don't remember why. I was like, oh my God, please, no one tell my mother. Like, what a fucking dork am I, really? And now look at me. I asked my mother how many times she bangs my father a week.
In Walmart too. Did you do that in Walmart or Target or something?
Oh yeah, I always do that. Like when she bends down in the store, I go.
Oh, that's hysterical. Yeah, no, it's true though. Like I can remember, like even I was at the most innocent, sleepover party. Like you'd stay up the whole night. Even that ain't good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
As a kid,
Oh,
I remember
God.
I did a sleepover once. I stayed up all night long. I think I drank like 4 2-liter bottles of Mountain Dew. Which I don't know if you'd know this, but I don't know.
What was the sperm count? What is it?
It doesn't. It stops you from peeing. I couldn't pee. I just couldn't pee.
What is it with guys and Mountain Dew? Because Nick used to always fucking drink Mountain Dew, and it was the most disgusting drink. I'd be like, "What's wrong with you?"
It's 12-year-old boy crack when you were in the 90s. That's what it was. But I remember after the next day, so we're up 24 hours, and then somebody got tickets to a Yankee game. And so I wound up going and sitting in the top section, the top level. It's 115 degrees. It's like the hottest day of the year. I was baking and I was just sweating Mountain Dew out of my pores because I couldn't pee. It was just the worst day of my life. So the moral of the story here, kids, is nothing good comes from sleepover parties ever. But that's where you would break out your cursing at first, I feel like, because you couldn't curse in school necessarily. Right. The teachers around.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And if you were like at somebody's house, like, you know what I hate about society now? We used to go over our friend's house. Now there's play dates. Like, could we just keep it with like?
I hate that. I hate that term.
Yeah. If somebody says to me, "You want to set up a play date with my kid?" I'd be like, "No, get away from me." But if you want them to come over and hang out, they could do that. But no play dates.
I do cringe when I see that word. Like, there's a lot of words on my list that I do not like, and it's cringeworthy. It's up there with moist. It is. Ugh. Yep.
All right, so moist. Play date.
Exactly.
And then Epstein's 24-hour erections. That's where I'm going to keep it all. All right, let's go to part 2 here. Ghislaine Maxwell had a personal assistant. She was also an actress. Go figure. I looked her up. She wasn't in anything good. Her IMDb has like 3 entries on it, and I never heard of one of those movies. Her name is Emmy Taylor, spelled with an ER instead of an OR. Yeah, fancy.
Interesting.
Being described as a potential key witness in Maxwell's criminal case in the U.S., she is currently, quote, not in the country now, and her whereabouts are unclear.
Ooh.
So this person was the personal assistant for Ghislaine Maxwell and is gone, missing. They don't know where she is. Now, the sources who told this to the Sun, who seems to be getting a lot of the scoops on these things. The Daily Mail and the Sun are like all over this.
I know.
They must hate this Prince Andrew because the British media is so all over this case. Like they're getting the scoops on everything.
They do hate him.
I mean, they want to nail him, Epstein, her. I feel like they're out for blood more so than a lot of other people that probably should be.
I agree.
Taylor's whereabouts are unclear. Epstein's accusers have claimed that, allegedly, Taylor taught them how to massage the multimillionaire pedophile, and that Maxwell even referred to her as her, quote, slave, end quote.
Oh, God.
Taylor worked as Maxwell's personal assistant, was also named in court filings among Epstein's pals who flew on his so-called private jet, the so-called Lolita Express. At the time, he was allegedly trafficking girls. Prosecutors in the U.S. were reportedly looking to question Taylor last year around the time Epstein committed suicide in jail while locked up on sex trafficking charges. Her brother-in-law at the time said she was, quote, distraught, quote, end quote, to have been linked to the registered sex offender.
Yeah.
What's going on here, J Sabs? Because I mean, this kind of to me feels like, you know, we talked about like the gardener and you know, the chef, like people that were not directly involved but there.
Right. I mean,
here's a personal assistant, you know, you're basically running the calendar or whatever, making the phone calls, and some of the people who are accusing him are saying she was in on showing them how to give them massages.
I mean, has to be. There had to be someone who complied with it and was fine with doing this, because I'm sure she made a lot of money. So there you go.
Had to make a ton of money and then popped up into movies. And again, I'm not saying that she's talentless because I haven't seen her work, but she's been, like, according to her IMDb, she's been in, okay, hold on, I got it right here. She's been in 3 films. One in 2005, one in 2009, and the other one in 2012.
Oh, so like right after. Yeah.
Two of them were short films and not an actual feature film.
Well, I'm sure she got those because of him.
And in Bon Appetit, her first short film in 2005, she played Sexy Vixen.
Oh, come on.
She didn't even have a name. Ironically, in Murder Inside of Me and then The Water's Edge, she played a character called Kira both times, if you could believe that.
Were they on Skinemax? Just wondering.
I don't even know if they were good enough to make it there, to be perfectly honest with you. Judging by these film covers, these posters. Yeah.
Oh, so they were maybe D movies.
I mean, this person, I feel, again, look, I feel like everybody who was involved with this needs to be hauled in and questioned thoroughly. And then, you know, let the justice system decide on whether or not they need to face any further penalty. But the personal assistant kind of should be in custody, I feel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Missing, though. So that's it.
That's the latest saga. As if we couldn't get any more crazier. Now the personal assistant's missing. So
great.
Her and Carmen Sandiego we're still on the hunt for, but I think if we find the warrant, we can get it all done. You know what I'm saying, Janine? Right.
Let's go.
We got to bring in that group. Who was that group that sang Rockapella? Was it Rockapella?
Yeah. There we go.
All right, we'll leave it there. I think it was Rockapella. I was right. It was Rockapella.
You got it.
Now
you have that Google machine.
We got that Google machine, and now everybody has "Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego" in their head, even though we didn't play a lick of it.
Nope. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
All right, we'll leave it there. J Sabs, it was great to hear from you. We hope to see you next time.
I'm going to have my personal assistant help me with that and a few other things.
Okay, I'm not going to ask any questions, but
don't.
All right, that's it. If you made it this far, appreciate it. So, by the way, I'm shocked. Our numbers are so great across the board, podcasts and YouTube. I'm shocked at how many people are actually consuming the entire podcast. Like, it's so wonderful to see. So thank you. If you continue to make it this far, yes, from all of us. AnthonyOnAir.com has all our links and information. If you rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, that would be great. But you can find us on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and all the other major networks. Facebook and YouTube, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you the next time.
See ya.